Hello and welcome back to the Tuesday Checklist. Did any of you see Elle and Rosie's bus simulator live stream the other week? You know, the one where they gave up on the bus simulatoring and decided to make it all about bus murdering instead. I mean, to be fair, it's a game made for mischief and is one of those where you can have just as much fun making up your own rules as playing it properly, which of course got us thinking about what other games we just can't resist mucking about in. Rosie's first up with a hilariously alternative way to play Heavy Rain.
So a game that I played the way that I shouldn't have really played it. To be fair, the first time I played this game, I played it properly. But then every other time I've played it since, I've never played it the way it's intended. And that is Heavy Rain. I adore all of your faces are in surprise.
I know. I'm so intrigued.
Rob, did you say I played that?
No, I was going to say how can you play that? I'm intrigued to hear.
Oh, it's amazing. So Heavy Rain is a very serious game, and whenever I do play Quantic Dream games or any other game of this sort, I always take the first run very seriously. I'm always like, no, the choices I make matter, and this is my path. If characters die, that's my own fault. This is just the path that I've taken. And then after that, that's when you kind of oh, should I do an all good run, an all bad run, where everyone's just evil and start doing really stupid things. But the best way I found to play Heavy Rain is, you get the commands. So for example, with the analog stick, you might have to go down and then upwards in order to get the character to pick up something.
Yeah.
The ways I love playing it are when you just go down and then you kind of take it back up a bit. So you've got your character, let's say he wants to pick up some juice, and they're just
I just imagine you at home playing this, giggling to yourself.
I giggle all the time. And then there's if there's a character who's in a really serious moment, let's just say they're help me up or something, and then their hand is just just so many times just playing around with the prompts or...
And then we get, this is a joke that doesn't get old throughout the entire...
No!
Look at her face, does it look like it get old?
Every action that happens.
I was just wondering about this. How long does it take you to do a run like this? Several years?
That depends on how funny you find it.
Right.
Some people might do it once and then they're like, oh, I've had my fun now. Whereas if you're me...
You're Rosie.
But yeah, the first... So like I said, always with these games, I always do the first run completely whatever I do, and it's all very true to myself. My choices matter and stuff. And then a good run, an evil run, because that's what everyone does. And then I know the game so well, I'll just yeah, let's just completely goof around and make Ethan Mars crawl through some glass, and sometimes it's sharp, sometimes it's not.
A Rosie run.
A Rosie run.
Wow.
But it's so much fun, and if you haven't done it, I highly recommend it, because it's not how you're supposed to play it, but my God, do you get a laugh from it.
Now, my entry is, I didn't think I was playing this game a weird way. Until my friend staged an intervention.
Right.
And it is Overwatch. So I am the biggest Overwatch fan in the world. I'm really obsessed with that game. I almost exclusively play Diva. And basically what happened is, and I'm going to start off with a Dave, I'm sorry. I'm going to brag about how good I was.
Oh,
we're not calling it a Dave.
We are so calling
We've decided
this a Dave.
I'm doing a Dave. And
I mean, if you've got the skills, sure.
Perfect rhythm, perfect pace.
So early on in Overwatch, I was voted legendary at the end of a match, which is, I think you need 10 votes, which means that basically all your team and almost all the other team had to vote for you in the final voting bit with the cards at the end.
Right.
And it was because I did a exploding mech. Did a Dave. I did a Dave.
Yeah.
And I threw my exploding mech and I killed the entire other team in one go. And it was the best feeling ever. I saw it, it pops up, it glows yellow. It was amazing. And so I got really obsessed with trying to do it again, which is ludicrous because it's really hard to do and the mech's really obvious. Normally it lands next to you and you're just gonna head over there. 'Cause it takes forever to explode. And whilst doing that, and so frequently ejecting out of my mech, I discovered that I really liked being Baby Diva, which is what she's kind of called when she's out of her mech. And she's pretty rubbish out of her mech, but I really started to love her, and I was like, she's the best! You can jump around, and she's so tiny, because in her mech she's obviously really hefty and quite slow, although she does have boosters, which is the best thing ever. So I just got really obsessed with her out of her mech, and everyone was like, can you please get back into your mech? And I was like, no, look how nimble I am like this. And they're like, you can literally fly when she's in her mech. And I'm like, but look at this big jump I just did. And so I just got really, like, I just loved being out of the mech. And I would just run around and I would like hide places I couldn't hide when I was in this big enormous mech. And then I would just inevitably die quite a lot because out of her mech she's squishy as anything. And my whole team would be like, why is Elle out of her mech?
Just see you running across your map.
That's genuinely what it would be like. They'd think that I'd be like holding up the back line or trying to like support some of our DPS, and they'd look over and I'm just like running around getting shot by someone, and they're like, what? Why are you out of your mech? And I was like, well, it's basically because I'm shooting the exploding mech, but it's more because look how fun she is. And then eventually everyone that I played Overwatch with was like, that's enough. Like, really, like,
The serious players.
yeah, they were like, you have to get back in the mech. If you're going to play D.Va, you must be in your mech. And so I, quite literally had to have an intervention to force me to play Overwatch
You got put
properly.
in the naughty seat.
I really did, in the naughty mech.
That is funny, because I think I've not played Overwatch very much. But when I did play it, I think I also played as D.Va, and I don't remember being in a mech. I think I might have played a couple of games running around and getting killed. And that was it for me in Overwatch. So now it sort of makes sense. I should have been in the mech.
You should have been in the mech. Yeah.
When this topic came up, Rob actually suggested that I'd have loads of entries because I particularly like to play horror games the wrong way.
I didn't say that.
You did. You suggested I could. You suggested that time that I play. Oh, was it Rosie?
That was Rosie.
It was me.
Well,
Sorry,
you just
Dave.
look so alike. It was
I know I'm just as good looking as Rob.
that time that I played Resident Evil 2 with in bright office light with with lots of music playing really loudly. But that was just one time. But no, I think actually there's quite a few games I play the wrong way. But the one I've chosen is a classic. It's a classic. Maybe you've played this wrong way too, and it is FIFA. And the mode is how many players can I get sent off? Because if you are losing 4-0. If you can get enough players sent off, and I think you, Rob, you probably know the actual number. I think it's
believe
4.
It's 5.
5 players sent
You
off.
can't have. I think it's true. I think it's an actual rule in real football as well. Like if you go below 7 players,
The game has to be stopped.
Forfeit the game.
The game is forfeit, and the result is recorded officially as a 3-0, which is why you would find this preferable to 4-0 or beyond. I mean, it is going quite
Team
bad.
winning the title like that.
Yeah.
Like okay. We
So-
either score 3 goals or we just kill their player.
At 4-0 at half time, the manager gives the nod. You know what to do, everyone. Shin pads on. We would always try and play properly. To begin with, we'd start a match with good intentions, and sometimes you're just having a bad day, or you concede 2, and there'd be a little flutter in the back of the mind. And sometimes you'd get, maybe you'd be at 2-0 and you'd be just willing this to happen. Then you'd be like, actually, I just kind of want to play stupid FIFA, no rules FIFA, and it's really, really fun because then as the attacker, you obviously really want to maintain your lead. You want the result to be 4-0 or above. Yeah. So you were trying to not concede a foul. I guess concede's the wrong thing, but not invite a foul. People are sliding. If you are the defender or the one who's trying to have your team sent off, you are sliding left, right, and centre. It's insane. You're trying to take people out without the ball, and it's a whole other game because suddenly scoring goals isn't important anymore. It's just not being fouled at any cost. You have to quickly switch to players. You have to try and pass the ball to players who the defenders are running towards because you can see they want to slide and tackle someone off the ball and things. You're trying to just like very deftly just move out of the way, just kick it out. That is another good defense. Sometimes if a team gets close to having all their players sent off or whatever it is, if they get 4 out of 5, then my tactic would be just kick it into touch every time, just straight away. They'll try and get a foul, but you've already kicked it, and it's another throw in.
I can't take the way you say kick it into touch, Dave.
Sorry, I'm a rugby man. What would you say? Out of bounds.
Just kick it out of play. Out.
And now FIFA has a no rules mode, I think maybe for this reason. Although if there's no rules, then maybe you can't get all your players sent off. Huh, interesting. Just play normal FIFA and get them all sent off. It's really good fun.
So it was quite hard for me to think of anything beyond the obvious story that everyone's heard a million times, which is my Grand Theft Auto Taxi of Death thing that I love doing. I was going to mention it at the start so everyone could just, happily remember that.
Oh, the fun
A little bit of
times.
footage on the screen. But the entry I have chosen is Destiny, the first Destiny. And it happens in the tower. What I used to like doing in the tower in Destiny.
Why does this feel so ominous?
I know.
It's actually like a really happy kind of thing. I used to
nice.
go around in the tower. Well, if I say I tried to cheer people up, I am lying. I tried to annoy people. Basically busy doing things. Maybe they were busy.
Happy story for you.
Yes, very happy for me. Busy at the Cryptarch or busy decoding something else, and I would just get my character model just as close in their face as possible and just start
This is a classic.
just kind of just doing all the dance emotes. So they'd be there and they come out of whatever they were doing just hopefully to find this irritating, just dancing man in front of them. And the thing I used to try and do was to see how many people I could get to join what became a roving band of dancing guardians in the tower. And I think at one point I managed to get 5 and it was amazing. And we just sort of went around.
Complete strangers.
Yeah, and this is the amazing thing about it. I love how the language of emotes in games and dancing and things like that kind of transcend all language barriers. Like everyone knows what you want to do when you just go up to them and do a little dance and you stop and you're like, you do it, go on. And then they do a little dance in response, and it's just, there's a lovely moment of joy there where you're connected with a complete stranger from maybe across the other side of the world. You're just in this little space having a little dance together, and you forget about all of the strikes and all of the bounties you've got to do, and for 10 lovely minutes you're just sort of, and the movement had to be jumping as well. There's no walking, you have to boing, that's how you move around.
Right.
Got to do the jump, and then maybe we'll all stop in a circle and do the crouch toggle all at the same time, and then we move on to someone else. And I think I had about 5 people at the end just sort of like boinging around the tower trying to recruit people into our fun time little tower party that we were having. And we did some dancing and we did some toggle crouching and we did some, all the other, there's football as well, isn't there? You just kick the football around, all of that fun stuff. I'd regularly just irritate people in Destiny Tower.
I got tricked once like this, and someone came up to me and was like dancing, and they were like, do a dance, like do your remotes, and I was like, okay, I'd spend some good money. I was like, this is so fun, and I was doing it, and then they shot me in the face. And
No.
Yeah, and I was like, no,
That
we were
is
all doing it, we were
bad
dancing.
form.
And then they killed us all and ran off, and I was like, I
That's-
felt so vulnerable and betrayed.
Yeah.
Oh.
It's a shame we don't have a camera on my face, because you told that story and I literally looked at Rob like, sure that's never
You can't
Rob.
shoot people in the tower.
No, I know you can't shoot people in the tower. That's a very safe place.
Yeah.
I
He
can
just
see
conquers
you.
them outside.
You lure people into a strike with you.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's go with the dancing
Let's
guy.
do the We'll be
Grenade,
team
grenade,
toggle
grenade.
crouch.
Super.
Yeah, well, I suck at first-person shooters, so even if I did that, I would still lose, I'm sure.
This is an opportunity for me to say that Rob and I are going to be playing 2 FIFA Pros at EGX. And we're making a series about it. Please do watch it. Otherwise, you won't know what we're talking about right now. Back to the show. I've actually finished. There's nothing else to say. That's how we used to badly play FIFA.
So worried about it, his mind just went numb there, apparently. Let us know about your own rebellious gaming shenanigans in the comments. Give us a like if you enjoyed the video and click that notification bell so you always know when a new Tuesday checklist goes live. Thanks for watching and see you next week.
For the players.